and welcome back to Clean Beauty with Claire. On this channel, we're going to talk everything clean beauty, from ingredients, the good and the bad, to some skincare routines and makeup tutorials. But this video is about hand sanitizer. If you're anything like the rest of us, you've been reaching for this quite often, maybe a little bit too often. So we're going to talk today about the pros and cons of actually using hand sanitizer, as well as some ingredients to avoid, and then stick around for the end because we're gonna make a DIY, super easy DIY hand sanitizer together. Let's get started by talking about what is hand sanitizer's purpose. So we know that hand sanitizer was designed to clean our hands of all the germs. That means that it's going to clean off all the viruses and bacteria, or at least most of them, both the good ones and the bad ones. So that sounds okay until we look at the side effects. Your hands are home to over 500 strains of bacteria. Some of these are not so great, but a lot of them are actually good and healthy and naturally occurring. Believe it or not, this colony of bacteria is actually connected to the immune system. So this is the biofilm that is on your hands, and it stimulates immune responses. It also prevents the colonization of bad bacteria. So when you're using hand sanitizer, sure, maybe you're cleaning off some cold and flu bugs, but you're also getting rid of a lot of that good, healthy bacteria and actually weakening your immune system. So we want to be careful with how we use it. I'm not going to say don't ever use hand sanitizer. There is a good place for it. Just be educated and know that it's not all beneficial. And honestly, as Americans in the Western civilization, we just overuse it. We overclean things, and our bodies are not allowed to naturally go through the immune responses that we would be. So I'm speaking in 2020. Since March, the growth of the hand sanitizer industry has grown astronomically. We've been on the rise for the last 10 years, a nice steady rise, but it has grown 1,400%. That means that the FDA has actually allowed 1,500 new producers to produce hand sanitizer, and you can imagine that the testing has not been up to par. So if we're thinking about something we're putting on our hands several times a day, or our children's hands, that hasn't been tested, there's already been a problem with that. FDA has actually recalled some hand sanitizers that contain methanol. Methanol is a wood alcohol, and pretty much its side effect is death. It can cause dizziness, vomiting, loss of consciousness, and death. So this is something, one of those loopholes that the industry has gone through, and we know we're not being provided with a very safe product. But let's talk in the normal hand sanitizer, say Equate, Purell, something that's been around for a long time. Okay, so there are some nasty ingredients in there. Fragrance, we know, can hold, it's like a code word for thousands of different chemicals that they could be put in there. Preservatives, all sorts of different things that can cause endocrine disruption, cancer, allergies, just stuff we do not want. They also dyes. Blue 1, yellow 5, yeah, again, we don't want that. But the active ingredient for many of these hand sanitizers is isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is not bad in and of itself, but you have to make sure you're pairing that isopropyl alcohol with very, very pure ingredients, because it actually breaks down the skin barrier and allows those ingredients to penetrate even further into the skin. So if you have a hand sanitizer with isopropyl alcohol plus fragrance plus dyes plus some other preservatives that you don't really want, that's not a great concoction for your health. So just be careful, and I would definitely recommend either switching to something more natural. A great resource for finding something that's actually natural, not greenwashed or anything, is Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep database. You can just look EWG and then go to the Skin Deep database, and then you can type in hand sanitizer and see what they recommend, what's on their seal of approval. They take all of these ingredients and they rate them, they research them exactly why they're bad or why they're great. But I'm actually going to show you a DIY solution for this that you can make probably with ingredients that you have out of your own pantry very cheaply and very easily. Let's go. So let's make a natural hand sanitizer. I'm going to be using distilled water. You have to use distilled water so that you make sure that no bacteria is growing in your hand sanitizer. Then witch hazel. Now witch hazel doesn't actually have very strong antimicrobial properties at all. It's more to preserve it. You could use 90% isopropyl alcohol. Like we said, it's not that the alcohol is bad, it's just that you want to make sure that all the ingredients that are going into there are very pure, which they are in this case. So go ahead, if you want a more stringent, a tougher hand sanitizer, go ahead and use the isopropyl alcohol, but do remember that you're going to be killing good and bad bacteria. So I'm just making a little bit gentler version that I'm just going to be, this is like my everyday, keep in your purse, everyday hand sanitizer. The ingredient that actually does the work, ingredients, is going to be my orange oil, lemon oil, and tea tree oil. So these all have antiviral, antibacterial properties, and they will do the trick. So I'm going to start with, and this is just a glass bottle. You want to make sure that it is glass because you're putting essential oils in it. Probably get them on Amazon. I think it's 2 ounces. You can get a bigger one if you want. But it's nice to have that spray. And of course, I don't have a funnel when I really need it, so it's okay. We'll be spilling a little bit. Oh well. So 3 tablespoons of witch hazel. Make sure also that your witch hazel is pure because a lot of witch hazels are actually scented with fragrance again, so that would be beside the point to be making your own when it's nasty. So just get something pure, Amazon again or drugstore. Okay, so this is 3 tablespoons of witch hazel in the spray bottle. Then I'm going to do 5 tablespoons, no, 5 drops each of my lemon, my orange, and my tea tree. Okay, you also want to make sure that you're using pure essential oils. Personally, Young Living or doTERRA is really going to be your best option because other essential oils are highly diluted, can be highly diluted, and they're not required to label it as such. So you're not going to be getting the same efficacy as with these, and you can, like, the smell is so strong. This orange oil is actually orange. Like, they are very potent. Okay, and last one is tea tree. You can also add in 5 drops of vitamin E oil if you want a softening effect, and I might do that later because that's going to be nice. Okay, and the rest, we're just going to fill up with distilled water. And let's see how my pouring skills are. They don't make a scene. Okay, there we are. Give it a shake. You might want to put it, store it by a sunny window for a couple of days. You don't want to keep it in the sun for long periods of time, but that can actually just make those essential oils mix synergistically, and it'll just heighten their properties. Okay, so there you go. Spray, spray, spray. 4 or 5, and clean hands. That smells so good.